The first presenter is Mr. Samu Eshima. Please start.
Good afternoon. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. July 20th, 1969. Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. It was the moment that impossible became possible. But even with all this amazing technology needed to take humans to the moon, there was one problem that they couldn't solve: odor. When the astronauts went to space, they couldn't take extra clothing, shower, or do laundry. So when those brave men came back from the moon, they stunk like crazy. Despite their impressive achievements in space, when they came home, the staff actually hesitated to open the hatch because of their awful smell. Now, 46 years since Neil Armstrong landed on the moon, we can actually live in space for long periods of time. But the same question emerges: how do you stay clean and comfortable in space? The answer can be found in Japan's fiber technology. Today, I'd like to introduce you to an innovative fabric that has the potential to change your lives here on Earth in many ways. Originally invented for human spaceflight, it is called Maxi Fresh Plus, MXP. Co-developed by Goldwyn, JAXA, J-Space, it is an antibacterial fabric with strong deodorant capabilities, far better than any materials available in the past. Now, there are already fabrics on the market that reduce odor, but unlike MXP, they have some drawbacks. The most widely used deodorant antibacterial fabrics are made by adding silver ion to the product. But the problem with this method is that the silver ions will gradually disappear with washings, and some material, such as wool, can't be used. So the applications are limited. Price is also a problem, since a typical t-shirt made in this way costs around $70. Not many people want to buy a t-shirt for that price. But MXP is special. With MXP, the actual fiber is made with deodorant and antibacterial properties. This revolutionary material doesn't need to be ionized. MXP captures odors and prevents them from being noticeable. When washed, all the odor-causing substances are then completely removed. MXP also has a wide variety of applications. To make a t-shirt, the composition could be like this. For socks, this kind of blend. Think about your beddings. Pillows are famous for getting smelly. Here's a pillowcase that prevents odor. And a t-shirt made with MXP neutralizes 90 to 99% of the acid which causes odor. And compared to the price of the first generation of odor-reducing fabrics, a t-shirt made with MXP costs around $40. That's almost half the price of the ionized shirts. Koichi Wakata, the first Japanese astronaut to become the commander of the International Space Station. Incredible guy. He wore the same t-shirt for a month in space and had no problem. I recently spoke to a JAXA employee about NASA's reaction to the debut of this t-shirt, and she said it was quite a shock for NASA because it worked so well. Isn't it amazing? NASA, the organization that sent to moon, was impressed with this material. Now, MXP technology is also perfect for sports, mountain climbing, and other extreme conditions. The Copiapó mining accident in Chile in 2010, miners spent 69 days underground. But thanks to MXP, they were kept more clean and comfortable and came out healthy. This material is that powerful. I went to Vietnam this summer for 2 weeks with only 2 MXP shirts to wear. Even in the humidity of that Southeast Asian country, it was no problem. And actually, the t-shirt that I'm wearing now, this, is made with MXP. And I've been wearing this for a week. A teenage boy wearing the same t-shirt for a week. And normally, you wouldn't even want to imagine how it smells. But MXP makes it possible. So if there's anyone that doesn't believe me, please smell me as much as you want after the presentation. I promise, I won't smell a bit. So, MXP, a high versatile, cost-efficient material with incredible capabilities. But most of us will never go to space, be kept on Mars for 2 months, or climb on Everest. So what are some other possible applications? Besides the examples I've given for sports and travel, there are 3 areas in which this material can be used more widely: water conservation, disaster, and medical care. First, let's look at areas struggling with drought. If a family of 4 does laundry 4 times a week and uses 30 liters of water per time, the water adds up to 6,240 liters per year. By using MXP in clothing and bedding and doing laundry for just twice a week, the family can save 3,120 liters. By reducing the laundry by half can save enough drinking water for the family to live almost a year. And MXP can help do that. Another situation in which water is very precious is in times of disaster. I'm from Kobe. I was born in 1995, the year of the Great Hanshin-Aji earthquake. 1 month after the disaster, there were still 200,000 victims living in shelters in poor conditions. Some couldn't bathe for a month, the bedding smelled awful, and a lot of people washed their clothes in the river. Water was key to everything. By using MXP clothing and bedding, we could have reduced these stress and smells and keep the shelters more clean and comfortable. Also, we could have reduced the need to wash our clothes in the cold winter river. Now, but the biggest chance for this technology to touch our lives directly is in medical and nursing care situations. At some point in our lives, most of us will need medical or nursing care. Hospitals and nursing care situations are full with unpleasant odors. The smell from not being able to bathe every day, or the smell from urine. These are stressful for both patients and caregivers. By using MXP in clothing and bedding, we can reduce these stress and keep patients more healthy physically and mentally. So MXP is highly versatile. It can be a t-shirt, socks, beddings, or any other cloth that is made from the fiber. It's reasonably priced, and foremost, it has incredible deodorant and antibacterial properties that surprised even NASA. Although originally created for human spaceflight, MXP has the potential to change our future here on Earth. It can save water, it can keep us clean and comfortable in extreme conditions and in our daily lives. So, although using MXP may seem like just one small step for man, I assure you, this technology will become a giant leap for mankind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eshima. Now, we are going to the questions and answers session. Judges, please.
Thank you very much for your presentation. I'm fascinated by the fact that people will be clean and will not smell foully if they wear this. But do you think that there might possibly be some aesthetic reservation to this kind of clothing, in the sense that to what extent is it possible to do something aesthetic about it so that even ladies who wish to appear beautiful may be attracted to this, or otherwise people may have the impression that everybody will look very clean but antiseptic and uninteresting?
Well, yes. Well, this MXP is a fiber, and well, it can basically be combined with any other materials. So, well, maybe using some fabric that smells good and adding it together, we can make it smell more better or make it attractive more. And actually, MXP is not just for t-shirts. It can be like a dress or any other clothing. So in that way, maybe you can make it more authentic.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. We have one more question from our second judge.
Well, thank you very much. Great presentation. I enjoy very much. I especially like you to start your presentation from space adventure, because I'm also civilian Japanese first civilian astronaut and scheduled to go to space in the near future.
Oh.
Well, let me give you a tough question, which is not related to MXP. I just changed my mind.
Okay.
Well, since you said at the beginning of your presentation, it's NASA astronauts went to arrive to the moon. It was 46 years ago.
Yes.
But since then, none of mankind has been successful to arrive in mankind for nearly half century. How come?
How come? Okay. Well, I think there's a lot of reasons for that, but probably the main problem is the financial problem, and NASA actually started to go to space by space shuttles, and so their aim was to a different aim, not the moon. So probably that's, and yeah, it's probably basically a financial problem, I think, and yes, but now actually NASA is planning to go to Mars, so if that's going to happen, we can take MXP to the Mars as well. So yeah, that's probably.
You worked hard, very hard.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, judges. Now, we are going to have a question from the audience. And for this question to happen, we ask that you put up your hand. And when you ask a question, please say your name, your school, and ask the question in English. So, do we have a question from the audience? Does anybody have a question? Do we see a hand? Okay, we have no questions, so Mr. Eshima, you're very lucky today. Okay, thank you very much for a fantastic presentation.
ありがとうございました。